That's a downtown.
Yeah.
And
Okay. So we've mentioned AVENZA.
What is this?
it's called AVENZA, AVENZA.
I'm gonna try and close out so it takes you to the main screen. So on AVENZA, there's a couple different options. If you have a map already made for your property, so maybe you've worked with a service forester or USDA, you can bring that map straight in and use it as is. If you don't, you can find a free app in their store that will cover your property area, but it will not have parcel data. So you will be responsible for adding that in yourself, which is the one difference. But I'm gonna go into the store. And so it automatically took me to where we are, and it's showing me all of these different maps that are available to load into AVENZA. You can filter this. So there's a little funnel up there, and you can only check free if you don't want to pay for a map. And then when I apply that, I'll limit down my options, and I can pick a free map to display this area. I think we're all on the internet, so it's slowing it
I
down.
think that's part of our problem. I think we're mastering this right now. Especially if people are downloading AVENZA.
It's thinking, we'll come back to that. Before we started, I made a Zaleski map for the area where we are, so that we can use it as a demonstration. And I just drew in a rough area to show kind of the property. And this, I just dropped points and drew a polygon. So if you notice that blue dot, that's us. It will track you without cell service on this map and help show you around. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. So I can drop a pin where we are. You notice there's a little pin icon that's not showing up. I can drop a pin at a place mark. So I can name this whatever I want to. So let's go. Meeting. I can color it however I want to. So let's go ahead and make blue. You can add a photo if you want. And I now have a pin that I can then come back to that marks our meeting location. You can drop these for anything you want to in your woods. So maybe it's just a really good oak tree. You can drop a pin for an oak. You can map out an area. So I can actually go in and draw and measure. And I can drop pins for a small area. So maybe this area I found Tree of Heaven. So I just drew this as an area. I want to see how many acres that is. It's not showing. Oh, it also helps if you can draw lines better and actually meet your corners. That's my issue here. So let's try this again. Okay, so now I have 1.41 acres that I've traced out. If I leave that, it'll stay on my map as a layer. And I can email this information to myself and pull it into Google Maps or Google Earth and have it show up on a map. So I can actually go in and see my layer that I just created. You notice it says it has 2 place marks and 1 area. That's what we just did. I can actually click on this little arrow out button and make everybody dizzy. And I can export this as a KML, which is what Google Earth recognizes as the file. So name it whatever you want. We're just gonna leave it as is for now. If I click export, it'll give me the option to email it. Then you can open it wherever you want to on your computer, whatever it is, import it into your map on Google Earth, and have these on your phone and on a map that you can then print. So you can track a lot of different things with this. This is gonna be a really basic introduction. We did a more detailed recording that's available on the Day in the Woods website. And then this afternoon, we'll walk through this with those of you who are interested. So we'll kind of save that for now, but you can go in, you notice there's a record GPS tracks. You can turn this on, lock your screen, stick it in your pocket for the day, and it'll track everywhere you walk. So we've actually used this to track our trails. So we'll turn on the tracking, walk our trail, stop the track, and we can import and have a layer of our trail, which is really nice if you want to know where your trails are on the property, or you want to share that with somebody. Maybe somebody's coming to visit and they want your trail map. You can share the AVENZA map with them and they have that information.
On a more depressing front, if you have your phone in your pocket, you're out walking around your woods and you find a barberry plant.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is one you probably want to get rid of for multiple reasons, because there's a lot of evidence now that ticks really like barberries. And when you have a lot of barberry, you probably have more ticks on your property. But I'll map those in non-native invasives. And then when I have the opportunity to go back and treat them, I can do that, find them easily with my phone. So that's, to me, a wonderful little addition for those of you that are property owners.
Yeah, and you can put in some notes on it, come back and look at that pin later on and see why you marked it. But you can drop all kinds of stuff in this and then put it into Google Earth and have it however you need to manage your woods. You can walk your property lines. So Dave had done that with his Google Earth earlier, imported the KML and had where he had walked around the outside of the property. So you can track anything in the field and throw it on a map and have that information down the road. The other really cool thing that I've used this for is if you go into the store, and I don't know if this is going to take forever, you can select different categories. So like recreation, and put in a keyword. So this is something we've done when we visit a national park. I don't know how this one works. Oh, so this glacier and water and lakes that shows up at the top. I don't know if any of you have bought maps at any of the parks, really detailed topo maps of their trails. They're about $20 in the park store. You can buy it ahead of time, download it to AVENZA, and not have the paper map in the field with you, and it'll track where you are on the trails. We love these National Geographic maps because they're so good for the trails on the parks. And we always had the paper maps that we'd lose and then buy another one next time we went to the park. You can buy this one. It's in your account and you can use it as many times as you go back and it'll track you where you are. The one thing I will caution is if you're using it a lot and it's cold, it will drain your battery very, very quickly. So if you plan on doing that, carry an external battery pack with you, and then it'll lengthen your day. But we really like these recreational maps. Yeah, you do have to pay for them, but you pay for them at the park anyway. And so then we don't have the paper copy, because I think we have 3 copies of Glacier somewhere in our house that we just don't take with us.
So we got a question or statement really. It says, try to add a picture of garlic mustard patch. Didn't work. Any tips? I assume you're talking, Kathy, and you can add to your comment there in the chat. In AVENZA, you were trying to add a photo and it didn't work. So you're looking for tips. Is that correct?
I don't want to change your.
A lot of times you have to allow access to your
Yeah.
photos to do that.
You have to take the picture and then pull it from your photo.
Yeah. So, and I also I have to send it to you, but I also have a free website from our GIS that gives you every single public land in the United States for free. I want to send that link to you so people can get it. What it does is it shows you a picture of the United States, all over 48 in Alaska. I think even some of the Caribbean, but it breaks in each section of national forest BLM land into quads. And then you zoom into the quad that you want, and you can actually pick and download the map, the topo map, and then you can send it to your AVENZA, and it's completely free. It's an amazing website. I've been using that for years. A lot of times we're out west on fires or just on vacation, and in the middle of nowhere, and you don't have any maps or anything there. So you just download this and get on the link in that website and shoot a retail event, and it's really, really nice. Best thing about AVENZA is that it will track you without cell service. It's great. I mean, it'll follow you everywhere. It's one thing I like. Another thing that I do sometimes, she was correct about the battery being drained. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but if you put your plane, if you're throwing on airplane mode, it will still track you and it won't take out your battery, which is a nice application to be able to do if you're familiar with that. One other thing I want to add on to this, if you can go back to the AVENZA, there's a little crosshair at the top of the page. Sometimes you go to a kiosk, state parks, any kind of recreation area, amusement place, you guys familiar with what a QR code is. You can actually take a picture, she hits the plus button, the QR code reads up there in the top right corner, you hit that, you take a picture of the QR code wherever it's at, and it will, a lot of times they're applicable with the AVENZA, and you get a map right off the bat, and it's free. I know they have a lot of times at different recreational parks or monuments, they have those maps in it for AVENZA. Or if they're doing some kind of prescribed burning or any kind of work or logging, when the public wants to know what's going on, they actually have that there so people can see what's going on. It's a great app and it's free. And that's one other thing I wanted to say was, so if you want to buy the unlimited, I can't remember what the cost is for AVENZA, but if you buy if you just get the app, you're allowed 3 maps at a time. So you can erase them, put it back on as many times you want, but you can't have any more than 3. After that, it will ask you to purchase, I think it's the pro deal that they ask for. But, it's a really good app.
Amazing.
Yep.
To me.
It is. And you can transfer maps to each other as well. I'm not so sure about Android products, but Apple phones, if you're familiar with the airdropping ability, you can airdrop and export those maps to your friends. If you have an airdrop and have another iPhone, so that's a great opportunity to have as well.
That's how we got the Zaleski map on the.
Yeah, I airdropped it to Dave and he put it on the.
I will say, it can be difficult going from Apple to Android to Apple, because I was out on wildland fire detail and I have it on my personal phone, but not on my work phone, and I couldn't. So when we're out on wildfires, sometimes they will have the maps of the fire that you're working on, and I wasn't able to get it on my Android phone from an Apple phone just to communication.
It is, and it won't let you export it either. Try to send it as an email. Sometimes it can be a burden.
So we're